welcome to the roundup. A lovely sunny morning, and look, Dak is back.
Dak's back, mate. The main stain's back. You don't see me with any notes, mate. So up there with me, PG. You know what I mean? At least you got a bit of banter back. But well done to Des, mate. I thought he was good last week. It was a good roundup. Well done.
No,
Two serious guys, but I'm in the house now.
Look, mate, it's nice to mix it up every now and again, and then when I'm away on holiday, you'll be able to invite on who you want to invite on, and it can
I'm inviting riff-raff, mate. Pure riff-raff for the rest of Scotland, mate.
Nonsense off the street, like some nonsense like that. Right. So I'm going to have to apologise before we start. This will be a wee touch shorter than normal, as Dak has family plans today, and I've got to go to work because I feel like that's all I ever do. Right, so we'll start off the episode with a thank you to our sponsor, McTassos Gyros. As always, the best grub in Glasgow.
Yes.
We'll check it.
I'm just back for Greece, mate, and I didn't have a Gyros as good as his, mate.
There's no way you can. It's not possible. It don't exist.
100%.
I mean, I love your dedication to the cause, that you went as far as Greece to see if you could get a better Gyros and couldn't find one.
Can I do it, mate?
I saw pictures of you taking bites of Gyroses and just spitting them out.
Right. No, I felt as if I was like cheating, mate.
Right, so Premier League, Darvel 3, Cowan 1, Cambuslang 0, Talbot 1, Hurlford 3, Cumnock 1, Meadow 0, Arthurlie 1, Largs 1, Rob Roy 5, Petershill 0, Beeve 3, Pollock 3, Glenafton 2, Troon 3, Clydebank 1. So we're only going to be touching on a certain few games today, but we're going to start on Pollock and Glenafton, as your man Dak was there yesterday. Lightning start, mate. Talk me through it.
No, mate, see, for the first 25-30 minutes, mate, we were electric, mate. The boys were right on it. Shape was good. They came out the traps and we went 3-0 up after the first 25 minutes or so, and then fair play to Glenafton, but they grafted away and they get themselves back in the game, and they put us under a bit of pressure as well, and showed a bit of quality too. So, and then the second half, we just managed to see it. We see it through. I wouldn't say that they created anything pure clear cut, but they were always still in the game. They done well to get themselves back in. But it was a tough game, and it ended up, it was a good 3 points for us, mate. And we're delighted that we've got the 3 points. But at spells, I thought we were very good, mate. Some of the play was good. Not I mean some of the performances were very good as well. But 3 points on the board. It was exciting watch probably for the people spectating, but end stuff. And as I said, Glenafton done really well to get themselves back in the game. A bit of character they showed, and it was good 3 points, mate.
Mate, very good 3 points. How were Glenafton?
First of it, I don't think they came out the traps, and I think Ryan and Marco would admit that. I think found themselves 3-0 down quite quickly, and you know what it's like. Your game plan goes out the window, but fair play to the boys. They rolled their sleeves up and they didn't stop, and they managed to get 2 goals, put us under a bit of pressure, and probably half time came at a good time for us to get the boys back in and get in about them and try and just rejig things, Gaffer rejig things, and I think it worked. We managed to just compose ourselves and come out the second half, and maybe should have scored a wee goal of that just to try and kill it off with a couple of chances. Bad finishing and maybe good goalkeeping and stuff like that has kept it at 3-2, and then we've managed to hold on towards the end and win the game, mate. So it was good. But Glenafton done well, mate. Showed a lot of character, mate, a lot of belief, and got themselves back in the game, mate. So, and I think they had a couple of players out missing as well. So, no, they're decent, mate. Hard side to break down as well.
Aye, that's Hugh's joint top of the league. It's a good solid result after the draw last week. Obviously, Largs can be a difficult place to go. And obviously
you were at home last week, mate. But
I never said you won at home. I just said Largs can be a difficult place.
Right, okay.
That's just a difficult, no for Rob Roy, but that was a good one for you. And I'm just going to throw it out now. See Paul Payton, see you. You just watch your mouth in future, son.
Mate, Paul Payton called me a baldy bastard, mate, and I loved it, mate. And see that's Christy, mate. He couldn't stop laughing, mate. So I'm not happy with him, mate. But good banter, mate.
A bit of fun.
Because I thought he was a big blouse, mate. He said he get kicked in the heat, and he's a Govan boy, mate. And then he did a wee pop at the old Barnet, mate. But it was all good, mate. It was all good fun.
Right, we'll move on.
If I get £1 for every time I get called a baldy bastard this season, mate, I'll be a millionaire.
Right, we'll move on to the team who are sitting ahead of Pollock in goal difference, and that is Hurlford. 3-1 win against Cumnock. Very good result. Cumnock have been flying. Hurlford have had a nice steady start. That was a big win for them yesterday. Gets them into joint top.
Mate, honestly, the job that they doing there, darling, that's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? Boys have started really well. It's a great result because everybody, a lot of people were talking about coming up the first 2 games, especially going to Darvel, winning the first game, and there were a few things being said about the quality of voting. They have got quality so far. Hurlford to win that game 3-1 is really impressive. Went back to 1 each. I think they pegged them back quite quickly, coming up, and then Hurlford have won the game 3-1, and it's a great start for Hurlford, and Hendo's a top manager. But listen, Gints and that will not be too downbeat, but that's still been a good start with him. 2 wins out of 3 games. Still very tight, still very early days, so they'll no maybe dissect it too much, but it's a great start and a great win for Hurlford.
Aye, definitely. Moving on to the table toppers. Last year's relegation boys, the favourites at times to go down. 5-1 Rob Roy beat Largs. Excellent result. I was a bit surprised that it was so convincing. I had them to draw, but I did think that if somebody was going to win, it probably would have been Rob Roy, but I didn't think that the one brat margin. A huge result. What a job Maxie's doing there. I mean, the fact that they're sitting with 7 points out of 9 for the first 3 games, excellent for them.
As you said, mate, last week, I think that they never started well last year, so it'll be interesting to see now that they're getting points from the board early where they can really go with it. Brilliant result. We've seen last week how tough it can be against Largs and how resolute and how well they can defend the ball and their goal. 2 seconds, she showed me. What is that?
What?
There's a spider, mate.
A spider in the house? I tell you what, mate. I'll pause this. You going away, you go and get a spider.
Mate, I don't like spiders either. Fucking mad house. Sorry, mate.
That's quite all right. It's quite all right. Oh. Right, so...
Half an hour, mate. My arse. That's the first time I've seen my wife naked there. I had to run into the shower and see that spider. I'm having a mare here.
You need to stop putting spiders in the shower, mate.
I know.
Abusing the opportunities. Right, Darvel Friday night game against Kilwinning down at Recreation Park. 3-1 to Darvel. Had 3 goals disallowed as well. Apparently they were fantastic. It's another marker because Kilwinning are a good side, but that's it looks to me like Darvel are starting to get the wheels turning pretty early on after that defeat. Another good one.
What they've done well, mate, is they've bounced back, and see the thing is that is a very tough start for Darvel, Mick, the boys and that. Big Alan McKenzie doing the business, mate, Friday night scoring a hat-trick. Good big player, Alan. It's good to see him getting the goals as well. He's a nice big guy as well, but great result for them. Friday night football, I'm a big fan of it. Unfortunately, I was still away, so I couldn't get down to it, but looked like a good turnout, looked like a great night for it. It was a great night for Darvel. I heard a lot of positive things about Kilwinning's performance on the night. I heard those spells where they were very good as well, and Gorms will be disappointed not to take it for the game, but it's a great result for Darvel. It's been a tough. We've beaten Talbot and then beating Kilwinning. That's 2 good sides they've beaten the last 2 weeks. So, the champions they're back on the train and hitting a bit of form. So well done to them on Friday and well done to Big Alan McKenzie doing the business.
You touched on it there with them beating Talbot last week. Obviously, Kilwinning Friday's another hard one. Cumnock was a hard game opening day.
Yeah,
they've no had, without being disrespectful, they've no had Cambuslang, Petershill. They've not had teams that you would expect them to go and beat. They've had a really tough start. Come away.
To be honest with you, PG, mate, we were saying this yesterday, mate, the gaffer and the coaching staff, not one easy game in the league this year, mate. Not one, mate. When you look at the results and all that, and all teams are very well organised and all that. Look at Talbot and Cambuslang, they've won the game 1-0. It's been a tough game for them to go to Cambuslang and get in for the game, and it's the same way. It's the same with a lot of teams. You know what I mean? There's no easy games this season.
Well, that's the thing. You look at it in the league table. It's only 1 point separating the top 8.
Well, you look at it. You look at Meda beat Craigmark last week, and then awfully go there with 9 men and get a tremendous result.
Aye.
Down there yesterday to win the game 1-0, and Palmer to get off the mark's really good for him. And then Troon, mate, Troon, what a result for him.
Great start.
What a result for Troon, mate. And I tell you what, Dino's assembled. Dino and the troops down there have assembled a good side, mate. They're not going to be an easy game home or away this season. No. They're going to be very, very good side, mate. Very fit, very well organised. Try and play good football. Get some right good players down there. So Troon and another one, mate.
Well, that's Troon and Rob Roy are top goal scorers in the league. You know what I mean? So they're scoring goals. You've got Beef beating Petershill 3-0, being really tough start for Petershill, but it was a good win for Straney.
Good start for Straney. 2 wins, in it?
Two wins, 1 defeat. He's started off well.
Yeah.
I think that I think, like you said on Palmer, it's a great result. Part of the problem is, and we'd spoke about this just before coming on air, about the top goal scorers in the league, like Mackenzie and Big Callum Graham, both of them 4 goals. The Meda have only scored 4 goals this season, and Callum's got them all. So that's something that they'll maybe need to try and see if they can chip in with. Like Clydebank, I think they've had a poor start, but they've got how many goals they scored? They've got 6 goals with 6 different goal scorers, I think it is. So they've kind of got goals coming from elsewhere. But I never seen Moss' interview, but I got the impression
I've seen it,
wasn't particularly happy with it.
No, obviously he's not happy with him and Spenny's interview. Well, his was I read it, and it was in like a wee article, and the two of them aren't happy. And listen, you're well within their rights, you know what I mean? These guys expect high standards, and to be honest with you, the teams have gave that. That's why they expect the high standards, because of the previous performances. So they're not asking the boys to do it that they shouldn't be capable of. So Moff and guys and that, and Kirky and stuff are going to be very disappointed with how things went in the last couple of games. But at the same time, they've got enough about them to bounce back, and I think it's only a matter of time before they start picking points up again. And the Meda as well, I seen Spenny's not happy because it was against 9 men, but maybe it was just one of the days, unfortunately, because they've had a right belter doing it home park the previous week.
Right, moving on to Division 1.
Yeah.
Benburn 2, Johnsonborough 2, Bonnet 0, Blantyre 2, Cumbernauld 4, Shotts 1, Kilbirnie 0, The Rock 1, Neilston 4, Rossvale 0, Glencairn 2, St Carrots 2, Thornywood 3, Drumchapel 1, Whitlets 3, Gartcairn 4. We'll start with the league leaders, and I think they're going to take some stopping this year. Neilston beating Rossvale 4. Now I know Rossvale are only going to have a bit of looks at it. They're not going to have a great season. We predicted that alone, but there's obviously the circumstances to why. Neilston are flying now. They've only conceded 1 goal in their first 3 games. It's something they did last year, great defensively, and now they're really chipping in with goals.
Yeah. How good's that league, mate? Honestly,
it's unbelievable.
That league, mate, and try to pick winners, and it's very, very difficult. But Neilston, great start. I think the big thing for when we spoke to Chris, and I think you touched on it, defensively they're very good, mate. They don't concede a lot of goals, and when you're keeping clean sheets, it gives you half a battle, because if you've got somebody or you've got a few players that can chip in with goals, then you've always got half a chance. And I think that Chris and Carlson and that are doing very well there, and I think that's a great start for them, mate. Good start, and they're sitting in a good position, and they'll be delighted with that.
They're no kind of financially as strong as some of the clubs that are about them, but what a job the two of them are doing. I think
they're not maybe financially can't offer a player, but what they have is they've got a good club, mate. They've got a good park. They've got a good playing surface. They've got a good management team. They're a big name. Do you know what I mean? So these things attract players as well. Do you know what I mean?
We'll move on to a massive win for Davy Gregg's St Roch's, an excellent win for them.
Yeah.
I wrote them off start of the season. They've had a really, really good start to the season.
You're very, very, very silly to write off Davy Gregg, mate.
I'm not going to lie, mate. Do not start that piss with me, right? I will throw you right under the bus. You keep back.
Fuck off. I said, what did I say on this? I said, it's giving him a couple of weeks to get some players in, mate.
Know what you said on this, mate. Don't start.
Right,
don't start.
Mate.
Right, but a massive win. Well done to the Rock, and particularly going down to Kilbirnie. And there was a wee bit of maybe tasting.
You see the videos, not?
No, I've no, but that's what I was just about to say. There was a wee bit of tastiness, obviously, for last season.
Yeah,
that game.
That's how Kilbirnie have got the no fans in. Right. But I seen the candy bus that to get a police escort out. Honestly, mate, it was when they were all singing on the bus and all that, you could see like Oracle Burnley fans, the young team were outside and all that. So at least there was no dramas, which is always good to see because we don't condone that. But by the way, that'll be tasty one the next game.
Oh, mate, it's going to be. That's one of the ones where if I'm not working that weekend, I'll maybe have to try and get to because that's going to be.
Aye, mate.
But
yeah. I'll ask Murdy for the day off, mate. Go to that. That'll be that good. You know what I mean? But listen, on that, what a result! You get down there and keep a clean sheet, win the game for the Rock. That's 2 good weeks in a row for the Candy. It meant a wee bit of loss to the Candy because it was a birthday of the lowest one. A big fan of the club, Stuart Gordon, and all. And I know his brother and that is a sponsor of the club too. So that meant a wee bit of sentiment to them as well. Do you know what I mean? For him as well. So I know that it wasn't just about the 3 points on the park. It was about doing that for Stuart as well. So it was a good result for him, mate. Brilliant result.
It was. It was really well done to them. Cumbernauld, really impressive win against the Shots. 4-1. Cumbernauld look like they're flying as well. They've defensively not as sound as Neilston, but they score a lot of goals. That's 10 goals they've got in the first 3 games.
They've recruited well in the summer, PG. They've signed a couple of good players, and they've signed a couple of good players for amateur, for Eastfield's amateurs that you know yourself, mate. They're a good side. They've got Mark Hansen and the goalie and stuff, and they've signed some good players for other clubs. So listen, they'll be up there thereabouts. They've had a really good start, and it's good for Tony and that because they're a good young management. He's a good young manager, and it was a tough season for him last year. So it's good to see him get a good start this year.
Aye, definitely. That's a great job. Glencairn and St Cadoc's drawn 2-8. St Cadoc's losing a late goal. That's a wee tough one for them, but I know that they've been really short on the ground with injuries and stuff like that. And I think there's a couple of boys away this weekend, so it's been tough. But you look at Glencairn sitting third bottom of the league, but I've only lost 1 game. It's just the 2 draws. But they've drawn with St Cadoc's, they've drawn with Gartcairn, who are right up there as well. Yeah. So it's maybe a bit of a false position there in when you look at the league table.
Mate, see Gartcairn, Willie and I'll be disappointed with probably their points tally, and they've only got 2 points, but see for any team to go there or any team to play against them and take anything for them, it's going to be a very difficult job. So they'll kick on, they'll start picking up wins, I believe that, because I know a few of our players down there are not. They've got wee McManus and that we had at Ashfield. They've got some quality players there and goals. So I think it's only a matter of time before they start putting a wee run together.
Aye, definitely. On Gartcairn, 4-3 against Whitlet seemed like an exciting game. That took Whitlet's 100% record away. That was a good win for them because Whitlet seem to be having a really good start to the season.
Yep, that's another one. It's another one where you ask anybody to pick a winner out of that before the start of the game, and they're going to find it very difficult. They've come out of the ding-dong battle and they've won it. And tell you what, Mick's had a good start down there. First managerial job, you know what I mean? I know he's got the experience of working alongside Gorms as an assistant and that. So for him to go in there and start the way they have, start the season the way they have, he's done very well. And his contacts in the game allows him to go and get good players and that as well, and his relationship with players. So Gartcairn have started well, and they'll be happy with that as well. They're there and thereabouts.
Aye, definitely. A big one with Benz and the Borough, 2 each. Both of them sitting on 4 points, 9th and 10th in the league. But that's I think it's quite a tough game for both teams, and I think they'll probably, I know Lovers will probably be disappointed not to get a win at home, but it's not a worse result for either team.
Aye, it just shows you how tight the league will be. Do you know what I mean? That's two clubs that we fully expect to be up the top ends of the table and top 5 or 6. You know what I mean? So it just shows you that there's no much between a lot of teams. You know what I mean? So you're going to see that a lot this season, I think, in that league. Very difficult to pick one.
You're right on how good a league it is, and obviously Blantyre beating Bonington 2-0, which is a good win for Gibby. Bonington really struggling again this season.
Bonington haven't started well.
It's not been great
Ross,
at all.
you know what Ross is very demanding. He wants to win games of football, so he'll be happy with that. But good for Gibby in that 2-0 clean sheet. Big JB ex-Ashfield player getting man of the match.
Oh, there you go. Moving on to Division 2. Aldear 3, Wishaw 2, Ashfield 5, Maple 5, 4-2, Coolside 4. Perthshire 2, Greenock 2, Glasgow United 3, Muirkirk 2, Maryhill 3, Glasgow Uni 2, Yoker 4, the Ants 1. Oh, sorry, Renfrew 4, the Ants 1, Yoker 0, Craigmark 1. We'll start with Yoker and Craigmark. They were the top two teams to start the day. That's Yoker's 100% record gone. Craigmark, that's a really good one for them, going down to home park and getting the 3 points there. They've had a great start. Only them and Renfrew sitting with full points so far.
Aye, they've had a couple of tough away games going because it was at Yoker, wasn't it?
Aye.
Gone to Yoker's hard, not mean, and then they've put down to Ashfield, Craigmark, and they've shown the character and won that game, so it's a great start for them. So take down there, keep a clean sheet, win the game, go up the road, still sitting top of the league. It's a great day for Craigmark and Cadiz, and that have started the season really well, and I think we've fully expected them to be up there, mate, and they've had a very, very good start.
Nah, definitely.
Yoker be disappointed because they've started really well under Gordon and that as well, but by all accounts it was a tight game, and they'll just look to try and bounce back next one.
First goal that Yoker have conceded as well this season. It was like 15-20 minutes to go, so they were disappointed with that. Renfrew, very comfortable win at home to the Ants. I was speaking to wee Jamie Benton on Friday night, wee Jamba for Renfrew, and I was asking him how they're getting on. I said, obviously, like, you've won both games by a goal, but you've been penalties. You've scored 3 out of the 4 goals have been penalties. And he says, it has been, but we've been very comfortable and we're actually looking really good this year. And I think that result goes to show. I know the Ants won't be overly happy with how their start's been, but the Ants are a hard team to beat. They're quite stuffy, quite a difficult side to beat. So that's a good result for Renfrew for me.
No, it's a great result for Renfrew because it's kind of that local derby kind of feel about it as well, and to score 4 goals against an Ants team that are very hard working and a good side is impressive with Renfrew. I think, Danny, I think you've got to remember that the Ants have basically jumped up leagues, you know what I mean? So they're what they've got at their disposal against other teams, it makes it very difficult. But they'll definitely be picking up results this season. Fully expect them to do that. But great start for Jimmy and Renfrew, and they'll be up there. They've got some good players down there, and they've won the first 2 games with odd goal. But what yesterday shows is they've went out and put out an impressive display and scored 4 goals, and it's been a good 3 points for them. 10-goal
thriller for Ashfield and Maple. The last I'd seen, because I went to work, the last I'd seen it was 5-3 to Ashfield, and I thought
5-2 was, I know.
5-2. I was like, that's a tremendous result. Scoring so many. They seem to have just carried on. Max just carried on with yourself and Max had done, where he's lose lots of goals but score hundreds of goals.
Honestly, it sounds quite similar. It's like a brilliant watch, mate. Brilliant if you're a neutral, mate, honestly. But see if you're a fan of the club or you're part of the management team, mate, you're pulling your hair out, mate. Do you know what I mean? They're scoring goals for fun. Do you know what I mean? One up 5-2, you're fully expecting to see it through. I think they've been down to 10 men. Coco's been sent off, captain Coco.
What's embarrassing? Letting the boys doing Coco.
I know, but I think that listen, even when you're down to 10 men, you're looking to maybe by experience and see the game through. And Mick and Jamie and that are going to be really disappointed to throw the 2 points away after that. But by the way, it shows great character by Mabel to come back and score the goals and take a point for it. They'll be delighted to take a point. That'll feel like a win, especially with the position they were in. Mate, they were always belters with Mabel. See if you look at all the results we had against Mabel, there were 6-5s. I think there was one that was 7-3 down there, and then that 1-5 each, mate. The games against Mabel and Ashfield, mate, are always belters. But what a game I'd have been. 10 goals for the people watching, man. You pay £6, 5 or 6 quid, mate, and you get 10 goals. You can't argue with that.
It sounds excellent. Just to put us through a couple of good results. Well done to Sean and Ardea, 3-2 against Wishaw. Really good result. Rab and Glasgow United beating Muirkirk 3-2. And a big well done to Mark Young, 3-2 against Glasgow Uni after being 2-0 down. I had Glasgow Uni and PG Picks coupon yesterday, 2-0.
Yeah.
I don't like Maryhill losing because it's one of my old teams, and I'm originally from Maryhill, and I was like, and I like Mark, but I was like, yes, it's 2-0, that looks safe. I think I'll be alright. I'll not take much of a slag in here. And then I get into the motor, drove to work, go to work, and I was it's 3-2. How's
See,
that
you know,
happen?
see what I've noticed, mate, right? And I want to repeat this. I do not pick any day PG picks, right? Because I'm not allowed, because I'm with a club. But I think honestly, managers must walk in the dressing room
Oh,
and
mate.
they must go, that Tadger PG's pick used to get beat today and use a team top, because see the amount of people come at you, mate,
Mate,
on Twitter all that
honestly,
after it.
that's like the first one I did. All three were up, basically, but East Kilbride missed a penalty in the last minute to inaccurate. Yesterday, all three were up. 2-0 to Glasgow Uni. I'm like, it's just cruising, man, cruising. 3-2 end up losing. St Carol's lose the last minute goal. And I was like, and I'm getting people are coming after us. I'm like, I'm 10 minutes away from getting
Mate,
them up all the time.
unreal.
Oh,
See,
but
but on that, mate, I'm delighted for Mark. I sent him a message yesterday because we've spoke about on the show about how it's going to be a tough season for Maryhill. So I'm absolutely delighted for him and all the players in the committee down there for them to get off the mark quickly. Do you know what I mean? Because only 3 games in, so it's good for him to get a good for him to get a result. And I hope that they can kick on for there. But well done to them, and the way they've done it and the character they've shown that Mark's got a bit about him, mate, and the boys are buying into what he's trying to do, and they've got that never say die attitude, so well done to them.
well, that's the thing we have said, and we're no reading too much in it because it is only one result. But I think they'll have a hard season. But see, if you give him time, he will
Yeah.
get it right. They just needs time. And
He's
I think
good,
like
mate.
we've
He's
spoken
good,
about.
mate. Speaks very well, mate. He's a nice guy, but he speaks well, but he knows football, mate. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So, if he's getting,
It's
if
good. It's
get
good that
time,
one of the young brothers knows football. I tell you
one could play, and then
that. One can.
one was a player, but wasn't he?
He was no bad. Right, Division 3. Dorai 2, Port Glasgow 1, East Kilbride 2, Ardrossan 2, Girvan 1, Lugar 0, Kello 5, Newmains 0, Larkhall 5, Saltcoats 1, Lesmahago 3, Bells Hill 1, Royal Albert 0, Irvine Vicks 2, Bellaleven 1, Lanark 3. I'll start on the game I picked as the game of the day in Division 3, East Kilbride and Ardrossan. East Kilbride 2 up, Ardrossan pull it back to 2 each. That's the problem for me with the two of them. Don't get me wrong, I think that's probably a fair reflection on how the seasons have started. But the issue you have with the two of them is they're just not winning enough games for the quality that they've got. Like, I know you're going to drop points and stuff. Ardrossan have won 2, drawn 1 and lost 1, so it's no bad. East Kilbride have won 1 and drawn 3, and that's too many points to be dropping at this stage of the season for me. Well, because we tipped them both to be up there challenging, and I think that's too many points to be dropping so early on, particularly when you're looking at Kello and Lanark, who both undefeated and are going really good guns in now that have won all 4 games.
It still shows you that even when players are going out and clubs are going out and signing quality players, that there's no easy games, because teams are well organised, and all the teams have got some good players. But that's one of the ones where it was difficult to pick a winner at it, and then they took a share of the point, sharing a point. So they build for that, didn't they? It's two good sides with a lot of good players on show that day. Do you know what I mean? So they've been a good game to watch. But I own that, mate. I think Kello deserve a big shout this week, mate. There, 4 wins out of 4. With a new management team, they've started on fire. They're scoring goals. They're looking really good, and you can't grumble with a start like that. And I'm delighted, because that's a bit of a threat. So they're assembling a good side. And see the boy Mark Calmer up front, mate. He's a handful, mate. We played against him. He was good, mate. I liked him as a player. I thought he was a very good player, good goal scorer, he's a good servant to that club there. And they've started really well, mate. And Lanark too. Lanark had a tough start, a tough season last year. And we did always say if Simon just gets a wee bit of time there to get his own players in and stuff, and he's had that pre-season under his belt, they've started well. So fully expecting Lanark to be up there challenging. But no, the two of them, man, 100% record. You can't grumble with that.
Thing is, they're both doing well, both scoring goals, both being pretty sound at the back as well, which is massive. Irvine Vicks 2-0 win against Royal Albert to take them on to 9 points, and also Dorai, a good win against Port Glasgow 2-1.
Great result for Dalry. Dalry and off, 1-3 out of 4. That's one of your picks, PG. Will give you that. Irvine Vicks and Oz, and our team that you've you've spoken about wanting to do well. And our boy Franny boy's doing the business again.
Flying in, he's absolutely
Doing
flying
really
in
well,
it.
mate.
I
I
know.
think it's his missus that sponsors him, mate. So it was nice. He got a man of the match, and then he was like, a big thanks to my sponsor. No, I think he's hoping for a wee cuddle when he got up the road. Not I mean, he's a horny man. But
Well, on Irvin Vicks, I'm going to be going down to the Merry Mass on Friday night.
I'm hoping to get down, PG.
Hopefully you do. I know obviously you're back shift this week, so it's not the easiest of weeks for you. So hopefully you can get something sorted. But you're looking at Girvan, a team you tipped. That's 2 wins on the bounce for them, starting to get a wee bit of momentum now.
Yeah.
Against Luger, because Luger, I think Luger will be a hard team. I know they've not had an amazing start, but I think they'll be a hard team to beat this year.
100%. We did say that about Luger with our new management team in, but I will play to Robert and that doing it Girvan, because they'd a tough couple of opening results with the one with Fanart, and then Irvin Vicks, I think, beat them 3-0, didn't they? So, well done to them. They've put a couple of wins together. That's good for the confidence. We play them a couple of weeks in the Scottish Cup, so it'll be good to see the boys doing it in Neilston in a couple of weeks' time. But they've done well to bounce back and put a couple of wins together. So, they've got themselves butt up the table.
Definitely. One that you actually said in the preview show that you thought they would do quite well this year, and I had wrongly judged them to do well last year. Les Mahago, 3-1 win against Bellshill. That's them get 9 points out of 12. Had a good strong start to the season. Apart from which Des touched on last week, the mental result against Irvin Vicks, which I think Des was right in saying that was just one of the freak results. They've had a really good start to the season.
They made a good club, mate. Go. I used to like going to play the Go. I know it was a bit of a hill, but I always felt it was a good club, and so they've got a good history in that as well. I've been a bigger club, so they'll be looking to push on in that as well. So no, it's a very sound start with them.
Aye, definitely. Right, moving on to Division 4, Campbelltown 0, West Park 3, Glenvale 2, Easterhouse 1, Hamner 0, BSC 2, Goulside 6, Eglinton 0, Rossvale Academy 0, St Peters 2, Thorn 0, Threave 4. We will start with Threave, who are absolutely flying the now. It's again, I was talking to somebody yesterday. I don't know if it's true, right? Because obviously everything you hear is potentially hearsay, but they got 4 or 5 players for Dalbeattie at the start of the season, which I'd said last season, 65 grand apparently was spent. I don't know if it's true, right? But it's what I'd heard. Threave on the shy with money. I think they're going to be a club who are looking to progress through the leagues very quickly, and that they're laying markers down with other places. Because I think Don are a good side, beating them 4-0. They've scored 13 in their 3 games and conceded 1. It's going to be them.
They're a good side by the sounds of it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, not a chance to see them or anything like that, but the results are showing that they're going to be probably one of the teams to beat, probably between them and West Park is your 2 teams to beat this season. The good ding-dong battles with them, but no, if they've got a bit of financial backing, then that's fair play to them. Because to be honest with you, this is a difficult level, and I think that if they win the league and they want to go up, then they'll find you need that wee bit of quality in your team once you start going up the leagues, because the standard is good. Do you know what I mean? And the good thing is for them, probably I think works in their favour. Nobody really knows much about them.
I know,
because obviously people can look at results, but because they've been in the South of Scotland League and stuff, then people aren't really aware of their players, who their danger men are. You can only just look to see who's scoring their goals and stuff to try and paint a picture for that. So that's probably what they've got in their favour. But then what will happen now is, because of their results at the start, teams will now start going, right, this is one of the best teams in the league. So teams start having to raise their game a wee bit to play against them. But it's been a brilliant start for them, and they'll be delighted with that. And it's a good introduction to the rest of Scotland for them.
Aye, definitely. I'm looking forward to actually seeing them, because I think they'll be a good side. West Park beating Campbelltown 3-0 away. Yeah. I don't know if it got a bit tasty. I seen
that, mate. I seen the tweet
for West Park.
West Park.
The players they've said themselves he's taking the bait, reacted the way he shouldn't have got himself sent off. But apparently he was taking a bit of treatment. But look, that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Particularly at the lower levels, you're going to get that. But that's a good win for him.
No, I think Unfortunately, aye. If you've got good players and you're winning games, the frustration does kick in, and you get that. Do you know what I mean? That's probably what West Park are. They're going to come across these. But West Park have played in the amateur game and also this shouldn't be a shock that players are going to kind of get targeted. I don't know what was happening and what actually happened, but to come out and bring it up, do you know what I mean? You've been down there, you've won the game 3-0. You're the one that's on that bus driving up the road laughing, well, not laughing, but delighted you've got the 3 points and smiling because you've won the game and you've had a hard trip away from home and you've managed to score 3 goals and keep a clean sheet. So I don't know what's happened, mate, but it did sound as if it got tasty. But again, good start for West Park. Do you know what I mean? They've came up and they're one that I've backed to go and win the league, and I hope they do well because, as I said, I've got connections to the club from my younger days, mate. So good result for them.
Aye, definitely. Very good result for Coushaise, 6-0. They're sitting with full points, 14 goals scored, 3 against. Having beaten St Peters last week, which I thought was a good result because I think St Peters are going to even do better than I thought they would this season. I think that for such a young team, but we'll talk about St Peters in a second. Coushaise 6-0 Eglinton. We said for the get-go that for what we'd heard, it was going to be really difficult for Eglinton, and that's how it's appearing. Coushaise look like they've kind of started off where they finished off last year. Really strong team again.
Yeah. We'll play Eglinton next week in the cup. Firstly, mate, Coushaise, mate, they score some amount of goals. You know what I mean? So Bailey's obviously got them playing a good brand of football where they go out and express themselves, and I think they've got a lot of legs and pace in their team and stuff like that, and they've been out and they've won the game 6-0, which is very impressive. So no, listen, we're the same way. We'll treat them with some amount of respect. We had somebody watching them yesterday as well, so we'll get a bit of feedback on them. Do you know what I mean? But probably sounds like it's a bad day at the office for them, and they'll raise their game next week coming to Neilston, I'd imagine, and a good place for them to come and play. But what a result for Coushaise, and it's great to see young Bailey getting a good start like that because I want to see the young man doing well.
Aye. St Peters beating Rossvale Academy 2-0. That's the first goals that Rossvale Academy have lost. They've had a really strong start. I think that we really didn't know anything about them at all. Like a couple of the teams coming in, I think that they could be quite a difficult team for sides this year. But I think that that's a good result for St Peters going away. I think that JD, Neil, and Gav are doing a great job because they've got to have the youngest squad in the West. I mean, they're packed full of young boys.
Mate, that game was probably like an under-20s game in Saturday, mate, or under-21s, mate. I guarantee you there probably wasn't many players there the age of 21, 22 playing in that game.
Nah, well, that's,
you know what I mean? Which is good, mate.
18, 19-year-old, you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. So I think couldn't take them into the bar after the game. They don't have to bring their ID with them. But the thing was, mate, it's good to see be a lot of good young players on show. So no, they're probably a good game to see, and it was a good result for St Peters. I seen your boy Jay Lunny scoring
the wee man's a player. But I tell you what, see wee Menzies that scored as well.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when we went down and did the game against Drumchapel, the wee fella you weren't at that one actually. It was
Did Menzies no leave and go to Peters Hill?
No, that was Nixon.
Oh, Nixon.
Nixon. Menzies against Beath last season gave Conor McGlinchey a right hard game.
That's right, man. You were saying
a really tough game that day. Menzies a cracking player. He's a skinny wee boy. Same with Jay, to be honest. Very unassuming, but very talented, very technically gifted players. But there's a lot of good quality in that division as well. Good win for Glendale yesterday. First 3 points of the season. Easterhouse having a tough time to start with. They don't seem to be losing as many goals as your Harmony Rows and your Eglintons, but they're still looking for that first point in the West. On Harmony Row, it was a good win for BSC, who've had a pretty solid start as well, winning 2 out of 3. Harmony Row, I've heard that there's a big split between the first team and the youth team. Apparently, Harmony Row aren't allowed to play at Braehead anymore. They're not even allowed to play there anymore.
It's no good to hear, and it's probably no good to hear for the longevity of the team, know what I mean? I don't like to hear that, because you want everything to be united and all the full club singing off the same hymn sheet and all that, but it's no good, because I think they train next to us on us already on a Monday, Harnero, so you would think that they would train at their park as well, so they're obviously
not allowed to use it.
Right, so there's obviously
There's
something
issues
happening there,
there.
which I'm gutted for, because Keith was a nice guy when he was on the show last season, and I think that they had a lot of positives last season as well with how the season went. So I don't know what's happening.
Like you're saying, when Keith was on, he was very much about that being the pathway for them. They were never going to pay players. It was going to be Harmony role players that were going to come through, and that was what they were going to build on. And obviously, we spoke to them and they knew that they would never be a team that would go into the Premier League with that kind of formula, but that was there for the club to progress, a proper pathway. So hopefully it's something that can get sorted, because it's really no good at all. But I'll finish this up with games to watch for this week coming. We've got games on Wednesday night in Division 3. For me, a couple of big games. Clyde are at home to Dorai, and Ardrossan are at home to Kello on Wednesday night. Two big important games, and the big one for me next Saturday, because obviously you go to South of Scotland Cup, so most teams are doing that. Big one for me in Division 1 next Saturday is Johnson Borough and Neilston, a bit of a local derby there. I think that'll be quite an interesting game.
Good games, mate. Good games, and the ones on Wednesday are very good. So there's going to be people maybe dropping points, or there's going to be people maybe extending the lead. Do you know what I mean? So they'll be right good games, and that one next Saturday's a right goodie. That'll be interesting to see who comes out and tap on that. That'll be have a wee bit. There's some players that have played for both clubs in that as well. So no, that's really good games, mate. And that's a luxury this season, mate. You could look at any division in any match day, mate, and go, that's a goodie, that's a goodie, that's a belter. So you've got if you're a neutral and you like this level of football, you've got so much to pick for this season.
Definitely. So that's it done. And just because obviously that I came out of retirement this week, you know what I mean? I came out and played again. I don't want my phone going. Right, I'm an Erskine.
Most of the game 2-0, but you can't stop talking about Megan someday, mate.
Right in the halfway line, Meg them an absolute beauty, and then the ref never gave him a foul against it, so I just kicked him and got booked. But
I seen, mate, who was it, that Lomond?
No, it was Glasgow Island. It was actually
Glasgow Island. You're normally decent, mate, on the Saturday morning.
The College League, mate. It was nice to be back, to be fair, and my knee isn't killing me, which is a bonus.
Did you walk in like heavy big time because you do a podcast with a wash bag and all that Louis Vuitton wash bag?
I walked in and there was a boy sitting in the seat I wanted to sit on. I just done that here.
Did you, mate? I bet you walked in with your PG and DAC bag and all that.
I never, mate.
You did, mate. You don't.
Hand on heart.
You had your PG and DAC tap on.
Hand on heart, I didn't either.
You had no PG and DAC stuff on.
I didn't know what.
Because
you know me, I always wear it, and I was like, I can't do that in the first day, mate. So I didn't bother. I just walked in and I was behaving myself.
Brilliant, mate. It's like Cy Ferry and that's lady now you're taking near the amateur world, mate. Know what I mean?
No, playing for my gaffer, Ronnie McDonald. The only man I've ever wanted to play for, to be honest with you.
Is that Ronnie? Is Ronnie play with him?
No, he takes the team.
Does he?
Aye.
Fuck's sake, man. Brilliant, mate.
Brilliant. It was good to be back. Right, but thanks for watching, everybody. Dak, you enjoy your family lunch. And
yes, you enjoy your work, mate. Everybody, take care and have a good weekend. Hope you enjoy the sun.
I'm going to go and run head first into the water. Right,
mate.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one. See you later.
See you later.